Right then, guys, Jadon Danns has signed a new contract at Liverpool before going out on loan to Sunderland. The Trent injury doesn't seem to be all that bad regarding his scan, but he's going to be out for probably about a week, I'd say. Liverpool don't want to risk him again, picking up something a little bit severe against Tottenham and probably against Plymouth as well. Never a good sign when the player wants to come off and asks to come off, like Arne Slot said he did. But it's good news as well that it's not a bad injury for the title run and the cup run that we're going to be going on over the next few months. But this video, guys, is mainly going to be about the James Pearce article regarding why Liverpool signed nobody in the winter transfer window. I haven't read it. This is going to be me just reacting to it straight up here. But yeah, it's this type of stuff was to be expected, like when the window shuts. Some sort of positive PR to put a spin on it, to make it look like, Liverpool they're in control, guys. This is why we did not do anything in the January transfer window. And no doubt as well, I haven't read this yet. I bet there's a bit in there that has a go at the fans, or like a section of the fan base, something like that, saying that they're clamouring for signings, blah, 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 blah. I think there's a lot of people that actually can see that this team could probably do with an extra midfielder, especially in the DM position. Probably another centre-back as well, with Kwanzaa's lack of confidence, shall we say, Gomez being out injured. You know what I mean? But hey, we're just a section of the fan base that's chatting shit, basically. So yeah, also, guys, I just want to mention one other thing, that apparently there is the rumour going around on Twitter that Salah and Van Dijk have signed these deals, right? I would not be surprised if that is true, because it's something I've been saying for a while, and I said it last night on the stream, the podcast last night. Go back and give it a watch, guys. Let us know your thoughts. I thought it was a really good stream. Basically, I said that they need some positive PR now, so don't be surprised if this news does break now regarding Van Dijk and Salah. It's vintage FSG, guys. Don't be surprised. Anyway, on with the article. So it's titled, Why did Liverpool not sign anyone in this winter transfer window? Well, let's find out, shall we? Where should we start? So basically it says here that the club had travelled up from the south coast up to London for a team bonding night out, where they dined at a Japanese Peruvian restaurant in the Mayfair district. It was a rare chance to relax and socialise together, given the crowded nature of the schedule. If Liverpool go the distance in all 4 competitions at home and in Europe, they will play 65 matches this season. Oh, well. So what going to that bit there? Liverpool's stance throughout January has been that they were highly unlikely to strengthen the squad before the deadline. There we go. Despite the clamour of a section of the fan base to add more depth to the squad. I don't think it's a section. I think it's the majority. I really do. And maybe I'm wrong, guys. If you're happy with the state of the current squad right now, like you would not add a single player to this squad, let me know down below, guys. Honestly, just let me know. Slot has made it clear he was happy with the options available to him. Sporting director Richard Hughes also knew this season was ready to react if injuries cut deep or a market opportunity came up that made sense for the long term. However, neither of those scenarios materialised. On a market opportunity, I think Liverpool missed out on Xavi Simons. That could have been one that we got from PSG with him going to Leipzig now on a permanent deal. I think we could have been in for Matthias Tell, though at the same time I would have only gone for him had we actually moved on Nunes. But we'll have to I don't know, we've missed out, didn't we? Other than that, I can't really see anybody else, unless you maybe looking at like Nico Gonzalez, who's moved from Porto to City. Like, he's very similar to a Rodri, who would be like, someone to compete with Gravenberch. But we didn't go for it, so it is what it is. It means that Federico Chiesa, who cost an initial 10 million from Juve, remains the only senior player to arrive at Anfield over the past 3 transfer windows. I would like to also add to that Federico Chiesa bit, guys, that we paid for Chiesa with the money that came from Spurs buying Solanke from Bournemouth. So we didn't actually really put any of our own money towards buying Chiesa. So there you go. We do have a deal in place to sign Mamadashvili for 29 million in the summer. Any concern outside the club of whether Liverpool are sufficiently equipped for challenges ahead isn't shared by those within. Oh, apparently so. Okay. Senior Anfield figures point to the strengths of Slot's bench at Bournemouth. Jota, injury prone. Nunes, can't score. Jones, Elliott, Endo, Bradley, Kwanzaa, Shimikas, and Kelleher. Chiesa and Gomez were both fit for selection too, but they just wasn't room for them to be in the 20-man matchday squad. There were similar murmurings of discontent among the club's lack of transfer business in the summer, but the controversial decision not to pursue a plan B after failing in an attempt to sign Zubamendi has been paid off handsomely with Ryan Gravenberch. But if he got injured, what would we do in that situation, guys? If Gravenberch gets injured, what happens? You play an Endo? Someone who Slot obviously has no high opinion of, otherwise he'd be playing more. What do you do in that situation? The belief shared by both Hughes and Slot that there was sizable room for development on the group of players that Jurgen Klopp left behind when he stepped down last May has not been misplaced, with Liverpool now 6 points clear at the top of the Prem with a game in hand. On Thursday, they will secure their passage to the Carabao Cup final next month if they overturn a 1-0 First League deficit against Tottenham. And they also into the last 16 of the Champions League, having finished first in the league phase, and through to the last 4 of the FA Cup. I need to move forward a bit here. There's optimism internally that Slot's rotation policy, coupled with less intense training regime and a better injury record, will help ensure Liverpool last the pace better this season. They also won't have to deal with the emotions surrounding Klopp's farewell this time, and they all have the experience of a Premier League title race under their belts. No, they don't. No, they don't, because even Salah and Van Dijk have come out recently and said that there's people in that squad that have not won the Premier League, so no, they don't. Whatever. The Athletic revealed last month that Liverpool held a long-standing interest in, what was his name again? Kvaratskhelia. However, they didn't ultimately pursue the Georgian international, who joined PSG for 66 million. Signing another left-sided attacker would have also made little sense given they already had Gakpo and Diaz. I agree with that. Left-back has been a hot topic of debate under the scrutiny of Robbo's form this year, and Shimikas clearly isn't his long-term successor in the starting 11. But strengthening that department was always more likely to happen next summer rather than January. Now Gomez is over a hamstring injury. Slot is back up to 4 specialist centre-backs, with Kwanzaa showing signs of regaining confidence after a difficult spell in the first half of the season. I'm a bit iffy with that. I think Kwanzaa was not so good against PSV, in all fairness. Let's have a look what they're doing here. It was part of the club's strategy to sit tight around this season's winter window rather than a case of the owners being unwilling to sanction investments. No, of course they weren't. Their self-sustaining business model means Liverpool need to be shrewd with how they use their resources, and they will certainly incomings in the summer. Oh my god. He's so far up their ass. I mean, Chiesa was bought with money that we got from the Solanke deal. You've just said so yourself that we've not bought any senior players for 3 transfer windows. You know, this window... Chiesa was the only one. Chiesa in the summer, and then we didn't get no one last January. We've made already around about £80 million in the Champions League, which, albeit we may not have actually received that cash yet until maybe the end of the season. Guys, honestly. What areas need bolstering will be heavily influenced by the outcome of the contract saga involving Van Dijk, Salah and Trent, who have entered the final 5 months of their respective deals. We already know that. Contingency plans have been drawn up for all eventualities. I bet they have. Liverpool's determination to keep this squad together in order to maximise what they got out of this season meant they turned down an approach for Trent in January. They now run the risk of losing him for nothing when his contract expires, which they're going to do because Real Madrid only put a bid in if they know the player wants to move. The Saudi Pro League did contact Liverpool about Núñez, but no negotiations took place because the club stance was that he was simply not for sale. Which again, for me, does, they only get in contact if Núñez is up for it. So maybe that's where Núñez ends up going in the summer, guys. Núñez's long-term future remains unclear, with the Benfica striker, the former Benfica striker, still unable to secure a regular starting spot at Liverpool. But his late heroics in recent win against Brentford highlighted his ability to make an impact off the bench. But you spent 80 odd million to put someone on the bench. And I know people say it wasn't 80 million, it was 69. It's probably 80 odd million now by the stuff that we've, the add-ons. So, yeah. He gives Slot a different type of attacking option through the middle compared to Jota and Diaz. Liverpool turned down bids from Palace of 15 and 16 for Dork. They are delighted with his development. Yeah, we know about that. We covered that. Cade Gordon's gone out on loan. Dan's has gone out on loan. Those craving the sight of Liverpool buying from a position of strength this winter were left disappointed, but internally at the club there are no regrets. They didn't see a need for reinforcements. This squad was built the perfect platform to secure silverware this season, and they are being backed to finish the job over the next 4 months. So that's the contract. That's the article, guys. Sorry if I waffled on a fair bit there, but yeah, for me, key takeaways. It's not a surprise that we've seen this type of article. We'll come back to see this, you know, if we don't end up winning the league, Champions League, whatever. Are we going to come back to this window and be like, see, that's the problem there. We didn't do this, that, and the other. Well, it's all hypothetical. I can't talk today, guys. Just got in from work. It's all hypotheticals, I guess, regarding all of this that's going on. But I'll tell you what, guys, don't be surprised if we see Salah and Van Dijk's contract news soon. And I'm just sick to death of it, guys. I'm sick to death of all these fluff pieces that come out. It's the same every window. And I mentioned this last night on the stream. Why can't we just be like, and I know you might not like this, but why can't we be like the 90s United teams where you're winning pretty much all the time and you're swapping parts out, you know, move somebody on, put somebody new in to add a bit of freshness to the team and keep it going. And I'm not asking, and I don't think anybody is asking for them to go out and buy players when it doesn't make sense. Like, yes, that Kvaratskhelia to come in from Napoli would have made no sense to have buy him when you already have Gakpo and Diaz. As in signing Kerekes in winter window, it would have made no sense to sign him when you've still got Shimikas and Robbo. So, like the whole Nunes situation as well, I mean, I don't know, maybe the club do have faith in him, in what he's doing and everything like that, but I've lost my faith in Nunes, guys, and I know many of you have as well, because you tell me on here, you tell me in the chat and everything. I would have taken the money for Nunes, being honest, guys. I would have taken the money and try and got somebody else. I don't know who that player would have been, because I don't think there's many number 9s out there now. I know people are saying like Gyökeres. My eye's still on Vlahovic over at Juve. I don't know, guys. But yeah, I feel like I'm just going to waffle off a bit. But just let me know what you think about this article, guys. I know it's probably a little bit of a fluff piece and was to be expected, but just let me know what you think, guys. Subscribe to the channel and give the video a like if you enjoyed it, guys. And if anything else does break over the next coming days, like a contract that, you know, from the big three, I'll be there with a new video. But until then, guys, I'll catch you in the next one.